Liberia, depuis le monde de Liberia, et tantôt, bringing time to the issue, for better discussion. C'est pour charity coming to, c'est pour charity. Liberia, depuis le monde de Liberia, et tantôt, bringing time to the issue, for better discussion. For better discussion, c'est que chéri coming to talk. C'est que chéri Liberia, le Liberia, et tantôt, bringing sense to the issue, for better discussion. C'est que chéri coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. C'est que chéri coming to talk. C'est que chéri Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue. For better discussion, c'est que chéri coming to talk. Liberia, depuis le monde de Liberia, et les tantôt talk. Bringing sense to the issue, for better discussion. C'est que chéri coming to, c'est que chéri Liberia, le monde de Liberia, et les tantôt talk. Bringing sense to the issue, for better discussion. C'est que chéri coming to talk. Liberia, depuis le monde de Liberia, et tantôt talk. Bringing sense to the issue, for better discussion. C'est que chéri coming to, c'est que chéri Liberia, le monde de Liberia, et tantôt talk. Bringing sense to the issue, for better discussion. Information and education. The butchery coming to talk. Secretary coming to talk. Good information. Information is talking. Education. Secretary coming to talk. Come on, let's go party la. Secretary coming to talk. Come on, let's go party la. Secretary coming to talk. Come on, let's go party la. Secretary coming to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Secretary coming to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Secretary coming to talk. Liberia, listen to the voice of Liberia. It is time to talk. Bringing sense to the issue for better discussion. Secretary coming to talk.
All we can say to God Almighty is thank you for making us to see this day. There are many others that wanted to see this day for so many other reasons. They are nowhere around. It is not that we are righteous than they do. It is because of the mercy of you, Allah, making us to be where we are today. Good evening to the great people of Liberia. Good evening to all of the counties in Liberia. What's a good way to be back here on the show? Issues of today on Voice of Liberia. 104.1 in Monrovia. 89.7 in Kakata. We want to say thank you. Thank to each and every one of you. For those of you that are going through what you're going through today, give all to Allah. He knows exactly the reason He's allowing you to go through what you are going through. Do not underestimate the workings of God. He knows the reason why He's doing what He's doing in your life. Some of the bad things are meant to prepare you for your good days ahead of you. So don't be broken, don't be moved, and don't feel as if to say you are forgotten by Allah, our only creator, God, that some other will call it. Sometimes it is a test to us to know how strong we are in terms of our faith. When you are strong to move on, it shows how committed and close you are to God Almighty Allah. Do not be moved by what people will say about you. Some of the things they will say will be the bad of all. They will say the worst things about you. But listen to me. Believe in yourself and don't allow what they say about you to move you. Once your heart is clear of what they say about you, keep moving. Don't fear what Haman will say. No matter what we do, no matter how we do it, certainly people will discuss us. They will either say the good things about us or say the bad things about us. That's the beauty of life. Nothing else you can do about it. You just need to keep moving, do what you believe in, fear Allah, because there's a judgment day tomorrow that you and I will stand before our Creator to answer to the things we've done on earth. If they are good, they will live after us, they will speak for us. If they are bad, it is with our Creator who's gonna forgive us, or we're gonna be punished. Because now and then we're following the evil world, the sinful world we find ourselves. Someone says, "Hey, could you are preaching?" Motivated to say what I'm saying, folks. Because the people in which you think cannot do or should not do the bad things to you are the ones that are even doing what they are not to do. What kind of sinful world we find ourselves? They will say all the bad things about you, and they see you in your face and smile with you as if to say they are in support of your success. But listen, be committed, be prayerful, because the life and the world we find ourselves today, folks, no matter what we do, we are in a sinful war, very sinful area. My name is Sekou. I'm Sekou Sharif. Inshallah, with the blessing of my parents, I'm gonna be here tonight up to 9 o'clock. A very long journey, tough talking issues, lots of interesting issues, by the way. We're in the political period. We'll talk about the politics, we'll talk about the human interest, we'll talk about the investigative issues we've investigated. Yes, this is what we do here. And so, too many things are on the plate for today's edition of the show. And stick and stale as we serve you what you need to be served with. You know, whenever you wake up, you need to say thank you to God Almighty. Whenever you've been successful in battle, you need to say thank you to God Almighty. It's not that you are so strong, but it is because of the mercy, though. I'm speaking to you that are going through a lot of things in your life, a lot of battles. I'm speaking to you that think that life has come to an end with you. Listen to me. There were other people that experienced more than what you are experiencing now. You don't need to give up. All you need to do is to keep pushing, believe in yourself, and give all to God Almighty. He has the solution. He has the answer to all of our problems. And certainly, with the blessing of our parents, we will remain where we are to continue to progress. My name is Sekou. I'm Sekou Sharif. Taking a very short break in a jiffy. We're going to be back here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. If today is the very first time of joining us on the show, I want to say to you, thank you very much for joining us. It feels good to have you people to listen to us on the radio, to bring you issues that are very important to every one of us so we all can discuss them. And also, if you've it is the very first time, I want to say thank you for joining us. If it is your regular dial where you've always listened to us, I want to say kudos to you. Let us do it together. And I want to say thank you to the entire team. Too many things to talk about. On yesterday, yes, a friend of mine, a brother, somebody that I so respect, somebody that has worked along with me. We've fought in terms of speaking for the Liberian people, advocating for the rights of Liberians, making sure that officials, those in various positions to do the right thing, to also respect the rights of other people, most especially workforce of our country, bad labor issues, investigation about what range of issues in the country. And he's one of the persons that I so respect. And I know he has done well for the young generation of our country. He has cut a cause. He has advocated for lots of people in Liberia. A young person that has all it takes. He launches his campaign on yesterday. That's my own good friend and brother, Patrick Eastman from District 13 in Montserrat County. Um, I wish you all the best. I hope the people in District 13 can understand some of the reasons you're giving them. We wish you all the best, my brother. But it was a very great launching on yesterday. I sat somewhere listening to you when you gave the people of your district your platform, what you intend to do, looking at the experience you've got, you bring on the table, uh, seeing some of the engagements you've done out of the legislature. One would think that when you're elected, you'll do more because you've got the understanding about advocacy. You've been there for the people in your private life. You can do more. You want to even do more for the people, and we hope and pray that you become successful. And we hope the people of your district will understand that a young man like you deserves better. Needs to represent them with your strong advocacy background. Somebody that has used his entire life to advocate for the people. Let me tell you something. The issue about uh, legislative politics has to do with advocacy as well. You know, so Patrick Ishmael of District 13, a representative candidate in that district, launched his campaign on yesterday. So he's going to be moving to Holmes. You know, talking to you to understand that it is important to elect him come October 10th. Mind you, we have few more. Is it a week or two, or we got a few more time to October 10. Yeah, man. This October 10, yeah, we need to put this at the back of us, right? Because everything people doing now, you're talking about October. You can see the citizens they are threatening politicians. Those of the people want to be in positions, vying for various positions. The citizens are threatening that when you come here, when you not do this, you will see what we'll do. Yeah, that's the beauty of democracy, right? Let the people will be respected. What they want to see, let us allow it to be. And there are not many things happening in Liberia, though. There are many things happening in this country, and they are all interesting topics that we need to talk about. But just to let you know, the U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary for West Africa Affairs will be in Liberia on the 27th. That will be on the Wednesday. Yes, tomorrow is the 26th. Wednesday will be the 27th to the 29th. And this is the release from the Embassy of the United States of America near Monrovia. It says, U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary for West African Affairs, Michael Health, will travel to Liberia from September 27 to 29, 2023. His 3-day trip will focus on U.S. Liberian relations and Liberia's upcoming national elections on October 10, 2023. During his visit, he will focus on press freedom and countering disinformation, media empowerment, government accountability. Oh, yes, good. Government accountability, civil society, and Liberia's domestic processes. Deputy Assistant Secretary Health will meet with government officials and civil society organizations, election observer missions, media outlets, and press, U.S. exchange alumni, and U.S. diplomat mission staff. We will also hold a press roundtable event at the U.S. Embassy. So that is it. Liberia we receive high level dignitaries, diplomats from around the world. Though we hope some of the engagements will be fruitful for our country. In all we do, the progress and whatsoever about the country remains paramount to some of us. We think that if Liberia succeeds, if Liberia gets better, it is better for every one of us. If Liberia gets better, it is not better for only one group of people, right? So, on the show today, we take off some of our time to talk about the launch or the closing of the senatorial candidate in Mangibi County campaign that is selected for the 7th of September in Mangibi County. The 7th of September will be the official closing of campaign of Honorable Nathaniel Fallow McGill in Mangibi County. He's going to be officially closing his campaign in Mangibi County. We'll give you detail of that issue here on the show today. And every one of you supporters of Nathaniel McGill, what you need to know about, we'll give you the information as well on the show. There's this thing that has been circulating on social media in various canons. People are discussing it about recent statement made by the presidential candidate on the ticket of Unity Party, uh, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boaka. And we're going to take most of our time today on that issue. We think it's very important and it's fair enough for us to weigh in on his statement he made um, in Grand Bassa County, and also give you our own analysis about the turnout and see how things are, and make some analysis about where you see people are arguing about numbers when they having rally, they seeing people coming up, and when you don't see huge number, they determine it to be the other way around, and all sorts of things we're going to discuss here today. Um, mind you, ECOWAS came up with or release, and I want to read that release to you, fellow Liberians, so you can, for those of you that have not followed or you've not heard it, I want to read you the release from ECOWAS, and so you will understand exactly what ECOWAS said in her release. Now, ECOWAS released a statement when the Senator, it says Senator Prince Johnson, when he also threatened the peace of the country. And this is what ECOWAS said. ECOWAS urges political actors to refrain from inflaming tensions. It says, In the run up to the October 10 elections, ECOWAS has observed with great concern the development on the use of inflammatory rhetorics by some political leaders and activities that could stir violence, emotions, incite disturbances, and jeopardize the peace and stability of Liberia. One, ECOWAS condemns such inflammatory statements that have the propensity to trigger violence confrontations. Two, ECOWAS urges political actors to use dialogue and mediation to address grievances and legal channels to seek redress to any concerns they may have regarding the electoral process. Three, ECOWAS continues to reiterate the importance of fostering an issues based campaign devoid of this is not clear on this document. Instead of using inflammatory language or whatsoever. Number four, ECOWAS urges that state institutions should continue to exercise their mandates relevant to the electoral process with neutrality and provide a level playing field for all stakeholders to exchange their constitutional rights with respect to the rule of law. ECOWAS reminds all actors that the provisions of the Farmington River Declaration remain in force and are cordially cardinal to the conduct of all political actors to safeguard the electoral process. Six, which is the last. The ECOWAS Commission and its long-term observers currently in Liberia remain vigilant in assessing the political ecosystem in the run up to the elections and affirms their continued support to a peaceful and successful presidential and general election. This was a statement or a release issued by ECOWAS when the quote unquote by that time Ambassador Boaka had not made the statement he made recently, but it was a statement reported. It was a statement from um, Senator, Senator. Okay, it was a statement from Senator Prince Johnson, right? So they came up with it, but I have few observation. I have few observation, and I won't say this. And I don't know why, in my mind, ECOWAS has not done much to play that strong role when it comes to making some move to stop potential violence when there are clear signs of potential violence or something that must that will happen, and you want to term ECOWAS, if you want to do like the way we have the president of Liberia, the only thing they're good at condemnation. They always condemn issues. So it is the same now. ECOWAS was not straight to that point to, sometime when an individual or a party is involved or they are involved with a particular thing that pushed you to come up with a release, I think they were to be clear at a certain point in time in their release to say ECOWAS condemned, but we ask XYD to refrain because when you just openly make it to look like it's against a clear understanding that either ECOWAS is not strong enough to make certain people to understand that no, with all the efforts we're making, we will not allow you to come and derail the gains and peace we continue. It was Senator Johnson. Are we encouraging people to make threats or to carry out issues that will undermine the peace of our country? Certainly no. No one will sit here and say we will encourage you, be a opposition, be a position or ruling government or out of the government. No one will sit here and allow these things to happen. But in as much that there's a constituted government that is currently running the affairs of the country, everyone should abide by the laws of our country. And people should understand that there are certain things they will say that will plunge this country to somewhere we don't want it to be. But at times, when the people do wrong and we try to sugarcoat it, it won't give us the results we need or we should receive. And this is the case of what ECOWAS did. And, at a certain point, yes, they call on the government that they should provide, like, for example, where you have government institutions, you have the opposition and other institutions wanting to use it, which they should be able to, allow people to use it, which is fair enough. And there has been no report of the government maybe deny anyone of usage. I don't think there has been report of such because the last time I checked, the government used ATS, the opposition used ATS. So that says to you that no one is what. But if it is the government that is making threat, let ECOWAS be clear enough and condemn the government and say, no, we cannot allow you to continue to make threats. If it is the opposition that is making the threat, let ECOWAS be brave enough and condemn the opposition and say, no, we cannot allow you to make the threat. Because, for example, you are in a home and you have children, and you go out, you kept something in your home, and that thing you kept in your home, all the children did know of where that thing is being kept. And when you come back, you notice that something got missing from there. Hmm? You notice that something got missing from there, and that thing that got missing from there, you saw it in the hands of one of your children. Instead of you to say, John Brown, you are the one that took this thing or did this thing, you came up and said that I'm advising every one of you in this home. If any of you, the next time I place this thing here and you take this thing away, every one of you will be liable. Even though you are seeing that thing in the hands of one of your children. But you are not brave enough to tell this child that you are the one that took it and you should not do it again. And if you do it, there are consequences. So sometimes when these statements are coming from people like ECOWAS, EU, the US Embassy, and other friendly international partners, our politicians down here will respect it. They will put themselves into a proper order. They are afraid. All of the politicians in Liberia, including the government people, they are afraid, quote unquote, statements coming from ECOWAS, statement coming from the US government, statement coming from EU. They are afraid though. Yes. So sometimes if ECOWAS really, they are really serious to help us to maintain this peace and make the political actors to refrain from making derogative statements or statements that will plunge this country to somewhere we don't want it to be. They should be able to come out with very strong statements and name and shame those of the people that are directly involved in making these kinds of reckless statements in the country. Instead of them just making, open up, press releases, and as usual, they will come up and make big press releases and say, oh, yeah, we condemn this thing, and, we do this and we do that, and all the kinds of stuff and all of that, though. I think it's just fair enough for them to be making these kinds of open statements is very enough so that they can go ahead, you know. So that is it. Uh, let me move. I will still talk about that. It will connect us when we are about to talk about this issue where Ambassador Barker made a statement in Grand Bassa County. Okay, fellow Liberians, we've been discussing an issue that has to do with the Market Business Center, MBC, Market Business Center, MBC. And we discussed about how they are allegedly defrauding the government of Liberia through the needful taxes they had to pay. And we want to report to you today, after a very hectic since this morning, our lawyers and the management, headed by Mr. Darlington Popper, every one of us, top management, we were able to finally conclude on the approved communication that we're going to have LRA on record. We've written, and that communication we just left from the meeting. Imagine the lawyers needed to provide a legal understanding about the communication. We needed to look at it. Let me tell you the reason why we needed to take all these things into consideration. The letter we're going to send, we're going to have it published on our website, on our various platforms, on our pages, and also we're going to have a major press conference. We will be sending that letter to the commissioner of, let me see it because I want to be exact. From today's date, everything we'll be saying to you, we're going to send that letter to the Commissioner of Domestic Tax Division at Liberia Revenue Authority. On tomorrow, we will not read you the letter because he has not received it, but we just want to update you. On tomorrow, we will give the letter, and so that letter will be submitted. And we've also CC copied the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Thomas Donald. And in the letter, fellow Liberians, we have agreed. Listen. In the letter, we point out all the faults. We gave statistics. We gave years of occurrence of the shaded deals of the Market Business Center. And we gave the figures that were reported from their annual tax return to LRA because we have them. And we also inform the Commissioner of Domestic Tax Division, Honorable Darlington White Tower, a very decent person one of Liberia's best. We also detailed it, informing them that we, as an institution, we are willing, fellow Liberians, it is the first of a kind. We are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for our country, because this is a big syndicate where you have bulk of the foreign business owners are into. But we will take the bullets for Liberian businesses. We will take the bullets to expose, because we think they are undermining the growth of our country. So in that letter, we said to LRA that we are willing, the first of a kind, to provide pieces of evidence. We are willing to, we are willing to make ourselves available so that LRA, and let me say this, if LRA will accept, we want to make our presentation of findings of investigation we've conducted about the market business center to the world, where LRA will invite us in that conference room where we will display, where we will do the necessary calculation and direct them to the fraud and provide to them documents. And so they will understand that the market business center has defrauded the government of Liberia millions of United States dollars that could build school in Bokonjile for our sisters and brothers, that could help build the roads, that could help pay school fees, that could help provide electricity, that could help our mothers and sisters, our family people in some of the leeward areas that need the help, that could build hospitals. But these company owners are enriching themselves at the detriment of the Liberian people. And in the letter, we say if the commissioner do his independent investigation along with us, imagine if LRA people agree, I can give them detailed information and I can call companies upon companies in Liberia that will shock people. And somebody was saying that you think, say they think, yeah, even the people you want read, they not in the know. They are innocent until proven that they are in the know. They are not in the know. I respect them. They are not in the know. So that's the reason why we've written and we submit the letters to them on tomorrow. Now, this is just beyond the ordinary journalism that fellow Liberians, you see some of the things we go through. Now, I'm about to prove another record. I've never said anything about anyone on the radio if I cannot back what I say about people. And the reason why some of you will say, oh, you call the lawyers, you know why? This is a syndicate. When this issue and this investigation, the results will reach to a particular point, any one of the commissioners or whosoever that will now want to do the right thing, we will use another means. We will share that letter with our international partners that are in full support of our investigation we usually do. We will CC copy at the appropriate time the U.S. Embassy, EU, other relevant institutions that support investigation of such to put an end to corruption. in said manner. So to report to you today, fellow Liberians, we want to say to you that letter will be sent tomorrow. And if Mr. And one of the good things I love about Mr. Darlington Taro, this is a person I've not met him before. I don't know him in person, but this is a person he responds to calls immediately, right? So we'll send a letter to him tomorrow. We'll CC copy the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, and we will challenge them to investigate. And we challenge them to call us. And when they are calling us, we don't want them to call us behind door, behind camera. No. We want them to call us and call the media people so that we can stand before them and prove to them what we've investigated and present to them pieces of evidence, documents, and let them know about what the Market Business Center has been doing to the government. And this letter we wrote and some of the things we put there, the investigation and findings, it is only from 2020 to 2022. Imagine. Only from 2020 to 2022. Now, if the LRA, based on our information we gave to them, if they will take them time and deeper, and you know how many millions of dollars this company has been able to get from the process in which they've been doing it. So we thought to let you know, and that letter will be sent tomorrow. The reason why we could not send it today because we had a very serious issue, and so the lawyers needed to go through a look at some legal issue. The manager needed to look at it, give another eye to it. We also needed to weigh in on it, put our ideas together. So it is a very good document, even if today anyone they are at liberty to sue us, we can defend ourselves because everything we put in a letter, we can prove that. We have pieces of evidence to authenticate all the things we put in that communication. Fellow Liberians, this is a fight that we all need to stand together. At times we complain on government or governments that they are not doing this. But you want to ask yourself, no one is against foreign businesses or foreigners doing business in our country. No. You want to ask yourself, why is it Liberian businesses are not making more profit or they are not growing as compared to the foreign businesses? A foreigner will come in this country, he or she starts to make a business of 5,000. What 5,000? In a year period, that person is in a million or half a million. Then you want to ask yourself, why is it Liberian businesses are not what? You know why? Liberian businesses, they are paying their legitimate taxes as compared to the foreign businesses. They bring in millions of dollars. They pretend as if to say they are not selling, but they continue to bring in millions of dollars, and they are now holding their suppliers, nothing in the account. Who does that? Who gave you goods when you can't pay? So there are many things to involve with. There's a big syndicate. There are companies in this country that we'll talk about. They want to fight back, and we are ready. We are ready for them today. We are ready. The only thing we need, the support of the Liberian people. Once Liberians are supporting us, and once we are not saying things that we don't have facts, we can fight any battle. God is beside us. We can fight any battle. They can go anywhere. They can use the code. Some of them brags that they're in society. They can use that society. They can do anything. But we believe that we can and we will stand for the rights of the people. So that letter, fellow Liberians, we'll read that letter here tomorrow. When we send the letter, we'll read the letter and we will be hoping. Let me say this. For those of you that know Commissioner Darlington Watt, our letter will come to you tomorrow. Your honorable, honorable, we beg you, we need a swift intervention. We detail whatsoever in the letter. whatsoever that we need to come and explain beyond what we've written, we are willing. And whatsoever lead we need to give you, we will give you it. And some of the people that submitted some things, their names, we have it. And also, you need to request the audit report, which they cannot tamper with now. See that audit report and do the comparison and go into the system and find out whether I'm saying the truth or I'm lying. You will notice that the other reports they gave of recent to the market building, I mean the market business center, it is quite different from the actuality of what it should be. You know what happened? Those of the people that audited, they compromised the audit report. Some people at LRA will be fired. Listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes these things will be doing, there can be serious battle. There can be serious battle. But we give out to God Almighty. He has our life. If he decides today, because let me tell you something, this thing will lead to some people at LRA be dismissed, though. Me, I will not rest, though. And I said I campaign town, I will talk. And I want to have them on record. Let me read the letter and see what happens. And we will share with our international partners, institutions that support the kind of work we do. And we will not say that when we share this information with some of our friends, some serious international people, and again, serious interest. And we all are working on this together. So don't be surprised. Maybe when we send a letter to him, you will see the letter in some serious, well recognized international media or stuff, other issue. It is the blessing of our parents. Okay. Now let me say something now before we go to the lines on all of the trending issues here. I know most of you now, there are some things you're saying. It is very interesting. Yes, that's how it is. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, we all need to work together to make Liberia a better place. Can you imagine someone is texting me, you've not even explained, but just little you've said, it is hurting me to the extent that I should just be the commissioner general to call that company to book. Yeah, my man, we are willing to support. We're willing to stand before the people. Can you imagine? Somebody, a journalist is saying that, okay, I will write you, and I'm also willing to come because I should not just write you, but I'm willing to come and tell you, you have your system. I'm not in your system, but I have my pieces of evidence. I will say things, you compare what's in your system. If it is different, you tell me, say, go call for a press conference. You say, oh, I lie. But if what I'm saying, it is what the figures and everything, the tax return and everything, I'll read it to you about what they reported, that tax return, what was that report, assistant Puneta, I will call the figures. If it is not correct, tell me, say it is not correct. Oh, yes. How do you say to here? Mommy, the thing is just as easy, and I'm not a tax expert, but I'm a journalist. But I do read a lot. So it allows me to know more about things that I want to know about. Someone said they started a business in this year with 1 million. And out of that 1 million, you started a business, you did not sell. Your selling rate did not, reach to 5. So meaning you sold below 5%. But in that same 2020 that you started, for example, I'm not talking about them. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just giving some example about the similarity of what they did to us. One of the many things they did to us. I'm talking about the market business center. You said you started a business, for example, with 1 million in 2020. For example, fellow librarians, 2020, you start a business with 1 million. Very good. That's starting the business with 1 million you had. The goose was 1 million. Then in that same 2020, when you bought something around 1.5 million goose. In the same 2020, you had a goose of 1 million. So, in a simple librarian English, before you can buy goods more than what you have in a business, that means you must have been able to sell and you got profit. The money you spend plus the profit, if you want to use the profit, you could buy more goods that could take you. But that report is not saying that they company, I'm just giving you an example. XYZ company report is not saying that they sold all the 1 million goods. They are reporting that out of the 1 million goods, they sold 2% of this 1 million goods. So, meaning if you sold 2% of the 1 million goods, it is impossible in that same 2021 for you to buy 1.5 million goods. And you bought 1.5 million goods, meaning the 2% that you sold out of the 1 million goods, you add the 1.5 million goods plus that 2%, I mean that 98% that you have, it gave you a total number in 2021. When it gave you a total number in 2021 of remaining goods that could bring you up to 2 million goods remaining, meaning in 2021 you had 2 million goods. So meaning you did not sell, but you bought in 2021. I mean in 2020. Maybe you play magic. Maybe they will say, oh, the suppliers or whosoever are giving them the goods, the people credited them. No, it is not the case. The documents that show that you do not credit. You pay based on the payment terms, meaning you pay 20%, and when the good is arriving, you pay about 80%. So there's no credit. So it means you pay cash in a simple English way. Then in 2021, 2020, your sale was not encouraging. You did not make more money. You did not do anything. You did not sell. But in 2020, you still bought goods. Then you came to 2021. If you add the one you had on hand plus the one you bought, it gives you a total amount of 2 million plus. Just for example, 2 million plus in 2021. So in 2021, you had 2 million plus goods on hand. And then you reported that in 2021, you did not sell. You sold 1%. Because your goods, your sale report or your annual tax return report you made, the first highest sale you did was the very first time in 2020. But your sale decreased from 2021, 2022. So meaning 2021, you made good sale, which is 2%, but you bought more goods more than what you had. How you got the money? Who knows? Then you come to 2021. 2021, you got a 2.5 million, for example, goods on hand that you did not sell in 2021, right? So out of that 2 million goods that you starting the year with in 2021, you bought 3 million plus goods. But you reporting for the 2021 that the 2.5 million goods you had, you did not sell up to 2%. You sold 1%. But when you bought 3.5 million goods, how you got the money? Who giving you the money? Where you getting the money from? Is it a money laundering? Or somebody just giving you money to just be bringing goods? Or what's happening? What is it? Eh? So you reporting and saying that you did not make money. You sold 1%. 1% of the 100% you sold cannot give you that amount of 3 million plus. When you bought goods again, you brought it. And the people you getting the goods from, the people saying that, oh no, listen, my man, you will pay 20%. When they take on the river or on the sea, in the simple library, on the sea, you will pay the banana 80% before you reach to your place in one wheel. So you want to ask, why is it you are not declaring sale, but you're bringing more goods? Where are you getting the money from? How is the profit flowing in? What's happening about it? What's going on? Who's saying the truth? So, fellow Liberians, I just try to make the clear, lay understanding thing here, and to tell you how it is. Listen, I'm mostly interested in talking about the things that it benefit the large majority of our country, particularly looking at things that the business people are doing. Right? Okay. Let me close on this issue about our training issue here that has to do with the LDEA, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. I want to say thank you to the current LDEA. There was a time, if some of you can remember, I posted on social media about the LDA informing the public and the world at large that who have come to talk about the LDA, some shady issues that are uncovered. And so I received a lot of calls. There are a lot of persons that got interest in it. Some of our international partners, some of our friends out of the country, they were so curious to know about it. And the things we do them based on our sources, informers. For a better word, maybe you don't know what is source. Those of the people that assist us in getting information from anywhere we want to. So on that case, uh, in that particular case, our source came out and said lots of things to us. And let me say this: at times, we are human. Sometimes some of the things that we hear immediately, we are sometimes emotional and we think it should not be that way. But sometimes our sources will mislead us. So I came on the radio the other time. I played some of the voices. And those of you listen, I was the very first person to have come out with it. And it went wild. And I said the LDA, they were very corrupt. They did not do the right thing. And I said all the worst things about LDA, the head of LDA, his deputies for operations, and I said all the things about them. With the information I received from the sources. And so when I started that, some of the family members of some of the sources reached out to me. They said, thank you. Some of them are working with some senior people in the government, though. They said, thank you, whatsoever. I said, okay. So we're doing this for the interest of the country. We're not doing this for ourselves, but we think it is the right. So I started to dig deeper to know exactly the actual story of it because something was telling me that it was one-sided to have come to a point to say, John Brown said I should bring a Josh. Now, it was a case involving Amos Moore, the former commander of Grand Jeda County, and the likes of other people that had different complaints that came to me. So I listened to them and I pitied their conditions. Some personal things that happened, I won't say it on the air. And I started to dig deeper into it. Sometimes when people are explaining for some of us the job we've been doing for years, I think and look beyond what you're saying. Because at a particular time, once you need favor, you say all the good things about yourself. So I started to reach out to some local journalists in the county, started to speak with some people and everything, and I started to receive different version of what I received. Even the audios I received, I started to receive different version of it. One of the different version I received about that case, it was proven that Amos Moore did not turn over the drugs per what I listened to in a recording and a video recording where the commander that took over by the name of Lake, he said he was not going to accept that drugs because Amos Moore was being instructed to take the drugs to Monrovia. But listen, I spoke to some senior people, those of the people that conducted the investigation, and even the investigative recording. I have it, and they said the document that Amos Moore presented to me, that document is proof that they prepared that document, and on that document they signed, and the portion of the drugs in question, they have a cross mark, meaning they did not receive it on that document. But the document was being photocopied to be shared with other people. It was through that process, allegedly, according to the other side, that Amos Moore went because of his intention. You know, in security, people want to know what is his intention. So Amos Moore, now the then commander that served for years in Grand Judea County, went and marked the NAC sign. So on the document which I have, that portion has a cross sign and a NAC sign on it. I can remember I asked Amos Moore when he brought the document to me, and I asked him why this sign is here. He said the people put a sign, but they realized a mistake. And certain thing came to my mind, and I said, original document, if for any reason there was a mistake which could give a harm to this document, why didn't you people redo it? And somebody will go allow it to be where you will see somebody cross it and say no, then they go pull, not sign everything. So that in itself is questionable, and it needs much more investigation, which the investigation was being conducted. So what happens in that case? It questions the document in which that shows that the people signed for the document or for the drugs. Now, some of you, you see, that's the reason why sometimes you will like some of us, because we are truthful to our conscience. When we do something, we know say it was wrong, we can come back and say it was wrong. When we do something, we know say it was right, we come back, we say it was right. That's a good thing about us. Yes, I was the same person. I sat on the radio. Yeah, I said all the bad things about the people. That means they won't hear again tonight. I'm trying to let you know about some of the things I investigated and how it came out. And I must, I said some things that I needed not to say. And I was being informed wrongly in certain areas. So that document in itself, it is questionable until further investigation. So what did I do? I decided to look out for the investigative report, because when there are issues, the only thing that will bring that issue to bed rest, it is an independent or established investigative panel that will be able to investigate said matter. So the board at LDA, they got a board that investigate these kinds of cases. So the board investigated. And when they investigated, and I didn't know that there was an investigation that proves that Amos Moore did not submit the drugs. Listen, I didn't know there was an investigation that proves that Amos Moore did not. Let me go to it. I want to get this. I did not know. So it was later established where that Amos Moore did not submit it according to the report. So in that case where you have that document be questioned, it brings you to a point to say, which one will you believe? Is it is it the one that Amos Moore is saying, or is it what the other people are alleging. So what brings that to a point? It is the investigative report. So the investigative report here in my possession, let me just read the findings. I won't be able to go into all, one after the other. I will just read you the findings and their recommendations, right? So who investigated them? It was the um it was the Board of Internal Inquiry and Professional Standards. Now, even in the police or everywhere, the AFL, they have the council board or institutions that investigate her officers, which is fair enough, very independent. Yeah. So they came out and said, let me go to the findings. Yeah, are the findings. They have two different findings. I think something make it three. And it said the Board of Inquiry has conducted this investigation without prejudice and established the below findings. One, the commander Amos Moore could not overwhelmingly convince the Board of Internal Inquiry and Professional Standards of the LDA that he turned the drugs over to his successors, which is Lake. Wherefore, Commander Moore could not show any document, photo, photographic evidence, video recording of the turnover that visually contains those substances, cocaine or heroin, that is being investigated, or there is no direct evidence being adduced by him. Number two, witnesses that Commander Moore and Commander Lackey involved into their own written statements. And this is the point that shocked me, fellow Liberians. And testimonies remained harmonious and cooperative. In fact, the witnesses that were present during the turnover ceremony admitted in telephone interview that he, Commander Moore, at no time turned over any hard substances, heroin or cocaine, to the incoming commander Alfred Lackey of Grand Judea County during the turnover ceremony. So you see, and I have that telephone investigation. I have it. I'll play it for you at the appropriate time. It said, in view of the above, the Board of Internal Inquiry and Professional Standards is left with no alternative but to submit to the authority of the LDA the appropriate recommendations in keeping with the Code of Conduct and the duty manner of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency of the Republic of Liberia. Then they quote everything. So here are the recommendations. Lost out on it. Let me run through it again, and let me just do it quick so we can move ahead and everything, right? Fellow Liberians, I'm saying this because Amos Moore is very disingenuous, and I will tell you what thing happened. Amos Moore is very disingenuous. A young man, you don't do that. You don't behave like that. You know what you've done to me? God. But anyway, yeah, the recommendations of the people. They said based on these findings from the investigation, the Board of Internal Inquiry and Professional Standards has come to the realization that Commander Amos Moore has recycled. You see, they say he recycled said narcotic substance and is therefore held liable for tampering with drugs. If that's the case, but now Amos Moore should not be released or should not be, parading and doing what he's doing. He also willfully, intentionally, and unprofessionally exhibited a high level of total disregard to the office of the Director General of the LDA, which constitutes an internal policy violation that is equivalent to failure to follow instructions, which in itself is an attempt of gross insubordination, violating the above sections of the duty manual and the code of conduct respectfully, and a reliance for termination. Therefore, the board is hereby recommending to the office of the Director General for termination of his services from the LDEA. So you see, now this is it was not Marcus that did it. Marcus, it was not he that did it. And the reason why some of you now will trust me and believe me and respect me for what I do. The last time I was here, I dealt with Marcus. I said, you do this, you did that. And I dealt with Lorenzo Pena. I said, you did this, you did that, and everything. I said all the worst things about them. But I'm here today to tell you that I was misled. I have the report here. It is saying to me, it is saying something different. Yes, it's true that recordings are there. But the other things were not discussed or told by Amos more to me. He said something different. He made me to believe and understand that he did not do anything wrong in this entire thing, or there were no investigation conducted. Even the very people he included in his written statement, the people were being communicated to via the telephone, investigation or interview. They said they did not see Amos Moore turning over the hard drugs store. They command, where is the hard drugs? Now you see it. So my own good friend Amos Moore, a young man that I respect, you won't believe it. Amos Moore had gone to other radio stations, which it is his right, and I encourage him to keep pushing. When I call Amos Moore cannot answer my call. And this word, they think we found out that there are a lot of people who help. They are very ungrateful, honestly. So this is it. Let me just end it so we'll go to the lines. Maybe some of you have got something to say and you understand some of the things we go through. At a particular time, Amos Moore with the likes of other people came to me in my office, literally begged me to talk to authorities, to use the media, to talk to the authority of LDA, to forgive them of all they've done. Only one person among them that could not be 100%. One person could not be 100%. He kept saying that he never wanted to go. It was one Sulu, which I can admit here. He was not 100% to say, oh, he wants to go back to LDA. No. But Amos Moore and the likes of others, they were appealing that I should talk to the authorities of LDA to have them reinstated. So I started to say to myself, you've allowed me to say all these things about the people. Then how come I will go back again and go tell the people, say, you see somebody think can be right? Huh? If you really show you got a case, you shouldn't have allowed me to come on the radio or to tell me to go and beg the LDA people. So it says to me that Amos Moore, you lie. You lied to me. You lied to me. You lied to me. Yeah, you see some of the former DA people there, you see that why they texting me. Is there somebody say, I'm wondering what is he up to, what he wants to achieve from what he's doing. And this other person said, I hope he's not being used by politician, media, opposition. Maybe because they started a protest. It's good. Continue the protest. It's very good. And I encourage you to continue the protest. Seek justice. But for my part, it is important that I say what transpired between you and I think you, as a young man, you did not do well. And you cannot continue. Now, I think what you should be doing, you're calling for justice, you're calling for a thorough investigation, you're calling for what? You need to be telling the public where is the drugs. Because from all the investigation conducted, the drugs is yet to be made available. You say you left the drugs to the people, you came to town. But the people are saying they did not receive the drugs. And one of the things I got to learn, and I understood from this investigation, that it is a normal practice. It's not something that bad. For example, if you arrest or hardcore drugs in a county or a particular area, because of the value of that drugs, at times you've been advised not to publicly, because you can't be bringing drugs. So you go tell people you're bringing drugs from county to you be harming yourself security wise. You've been asked to bring that drugs to time for safekeeping, because it should not be tampered with. Because even some of the commanders of the counties at times they can recycle jobs, most especially the expensive ones. So once the central town receive it, the central town has the capacity. You bring them. You're not coming to bring it to Michael Zeyu or you're not going to bring it to Lorenzo Peno. No, what you're going to do is you will bring the jobs and that jobs will be signed for. They will give you a receipt. So why can't my own good friend and brother Amos Mo do, or why did he do it and get your receipt and say, oh no, but I turned the trust over. But then you make it, like I was saying to someone, I said, once you are in a know that you are recording someone, you will sound so innocent to things because he had the mindset that he wanted to record the people. So he needed to say all the things the right way and all of that, But I'm just trying to say to the young people and fellow Liberians, my conscience has not been setting me right when I got to understand about this thing that the LDA management did not do anything wrong. The LDA, but did not do anything wrong. You listen to that recordings. Yes, the recordings are there. Yes, it's true. They told him to bring the drugs to town. Did he bring the drugs to town? No. He said that he brought the drugs to town and he signed for it, or they did not sign for it and they just said, give me the drugs. He didn't do it. So the procedure here is when you bring the drugs to town because of the value of the drugs, the similar thing that the LDA management is afraid of, if the drugs remains there, maybe you recycle the drug or maybe you do something with the drug, bring the drugs to town and the drugs will be signed for. But my brother now is protesting. Like I said, the man is politician now, right? And he's a politician now. He said he wants justice. But then how come you need justice? You were saying to some of us that we need to beg the management of LDA to reinstate you. Sometimes we the young people, we have our own problems in this country, though. 077, we have the last discussion. Let me take a few calls. 0770907907907. I talk about lots of issues, talking about the report, the letter will submit to LRA tomorrow. A very interesting thing and lots of issues here. 07709079070, 07709079070, 0880-907-907, the numbers to join us on the show tonight. Yes, let me get this activated. 0880-907-907, 0880-907-907, Let me take this person. Hello.
How are you, my brother? How are you?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
This is Esteban. I call you from Nizo Station 3.
Go ahead.
I highly welcome you for this program. But there are times sometimes you don't call those adjutant names. Just leave it at that.
I shouldn't call the...
Those adjutant names, those are so receive it. You just leave it at that. You say S was Z. Because in the place, it's always coming. Sometimes those drugs come. Any kind of way they will come. In the country, we got more than 3,000 entrances to go. So now, by air, by land, they lay home, forget it. So sometimes you don't call people, you just leave.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, this Darlington Gideon calling from 9th Street.
Go ahead, my brother. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Sepu, you are an honorable man, and I know you are an honorable man. Some of us follow you a lot. We listen to you. This just issue, you came into it very deeply. And you were getting concrete information to protect young people in this country. And then at the end of the day, the same radio Sepu you're sitting behind, when you were still into the drug issue, we begin it seriously because you had love for Liberia. You understand that you received a call and that you were wrong seriously on the drug issue the way you stepping into it.
Okay, so hello, sir, listen, sir. Yeah. You say you understand that I received a call, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who you understood it from that I received a call?
That's why I'm telling you.
Sir, hey, listen now, take your time. I'm giving you more time. Sir, hello, calm down now. Take your time. You have thousands of people listening to you, so it'll be good so they will understand your side of what you want to say. Hello? You left the line. I want you to be on the line. You said you understood that I received a call. Now, this is the problem about us. When you say something and at the end of the day, you realize some of the informations the very people gave you is not true, then you be bad. But when you keep saying bad thing, people heal you. Good evening.
How are you?
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Joe. I was calling from Conway. I want to tell you thank you for what you have doing. And generation, you make a history for a generation for Liberia because Liberians themselves are making the country, people laughing at the country. Integrity issue very matter. You see what you were talking about, a lot of things you said about people paying tax to government. Go to Europe, America, tax people pay Lebanon, tax people.
Yeah.
How will you sit down with LRPA, they paying you money, or you're a custom person, you go and make your own coins now when it's Liberia corrupt, down to the council make the country look to disgrace everybody in Liberia. So we all have to have to change our ways. And what you are doing, actually, Liberia will be with you. This thing become to a book. Business will come Liberia. The SA go think how government how to collect money every day buying goods. Look at what you're saying. You ordering goods. Then you say you making business, you ordering goods.
Yeah.
That's a criminal nature. Even the anti-robbery or division or so are coming in the case here on the police department.
Yeah.
I think the honor paper, one or two that are coming in the case here because it's a criminal kind of money. People will tell the bank account, but never disease.
Yeah.
And the lecturer too has a problem. You got law in the book that somebody bring expired food to your country, it's outdated. We get our legislature in Liberia voting for. They don't even care for Liberian people. Law on the book to be repeat. All these things. You got council, got a bar association living in the country to make sure we reform the law. The bar association will help the society to make sure because the children will be living there. Because tomorrow council or whatever you judge, you go your children, what you call it, tomorrow. So the country, everybody got to put itself together. You just bring one person on overboard. Thank you for the effort you're making. Thank you. To repay you and God will bless you.
Thank you very much. Let me take this person here. Hello. Hello. Yeah, good evening.
And I call you for
You come in too bad.
Yeah, thank you for your expose. That is just addition. The local person is what is the partly because of deficiency we can resource law. Also have major part to play and they always fall apart when it comes to investigating drug cases. Sometimes the DEA arrest those cases and deliver those cases to the court. You go look see a drug dealer outside. So what I really want to do, what I really want to recommend to government or to you there is that kindly talk for us. Like the people that are going to the house, let them be able to sign a document when they get to the house there, so they can submit themselves to the drugs law that like what you know call back cartel when you fight drugs to power when you got in your district, you raided the whole district. You know, if all lawmakers do that in a district, it will be better. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much for your participation. Let's hold the calls now. We're not taking calls on that issue. There's something, let's transition now on this thing that has to do with the statement from the political leader of Unity Party, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boaka. So let's take a break. Let me take a break. Let me take a very short break. Then when I come back, I will run into this issue, and we all can provide our thoughts on the statement made by Ambassador Joseph Newman Boaka over the weekend in Grand Bassa County. We're not taking calls again, yeah? Let's take a break. We're going to be right back. My name is Sekou Sharif.